Jeremy and Joe on WGR. My mistake. I don't know why I thought Rob was on at 9. He's on now. I thought it was 9. He called in. I checked my phone, checked the message, oh, yeah, he is at 8 o'clock. So, sorry about that, Rob. Hey, Rob.
Well, Jeremy, when you get into your career a little bit more, you'll be a little more responsible.
Yeah, he's the old guy on the show now.
But,
so
yeah, you'll learn it. It's okay. Just take your time, man.
I know. I mean, I'm so bad at this, Rob. I have a day of the week clock next to me, so I know what day of the week it is.
Trust me, when you're on the road, you don't know time, date, where you are sometimes, especially you never know hotel rooms.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, first off, congratulations. We're going tonight. Joe and I will both be there. Big crowd on hand, I'd imagine, for your induction to the Sabres Hall of Fame. You have the night off, which is it's great for you, right?
Yeah, it is. I've actually had a few this year, so it's been kind of nice. But, it's just great. Marty and Patty are willing to fill in and help out just so we can have the night off. Got a lot of people in town, so give me a little chance to hang with them a little bit instead of being rushed.
So a lot of friends, family, alumni. Was there a night out last night? Is tonight more of the event night?
Well, last night, actually, all my family went to dinner with everybody that was in town, so it was nice. Haven't seen a lot of them in quite a while, so it was good. I know all the guys were in town, and phone kept ringing. I was in bed, and they're ringing, where are you, type thing. And I'm like, staying away from you guys because it's going to be a long enough day tomorrow. So, there is a lot of guys that are all in. It's always fun for them, too. To get in and see the guys. A lot of them live a long ways away and they don't get in. Some of the guys that are coming in tonight have never been back since they were done playing. So, they look forward to it and it's exciting for them as well.
Who would have been somebody that never has come back that we would maybe see tonight?
Like Kenny Sutton's coming back, good friend that I originally lived with. And,
okay.
When we first got here, Gordy Donnelly, guys like that they meant a lot when we played, and I wanted to make sure that they were here and a part of it. So, guys like that are all coming back in. And those guys have never been back, so it's nice for them.
One of the things we were going over earlier, Rob, is just how many alumni over the years you would have crossed paths with from the first day you showed up here to today. It's almost impossible to be a part of Sabres history in any time since you've been here and not have come across you.
Well, outside the room there, that glass thing that's got, while we were at the odd, then the guys that played in the odd, outside, it's not tens, it's hundreds that you actually, just in that period of time, not only when we moved from the odd to the new building, and so you double that almost. So, yeah, a lot of guys that, some for a short period of time, some for long, but so many names and so many faces, but it's amazing the different personalities and the people that you have come across over the years. But the good thing is, it doesn't matter if you're here a day or 100,000 games. It's you're a part of the organization, you're part of the team, and a lot of guys are a little apprehensive to come back because they might not have played as long as others and they don't think it's their spot, but. For us as an alumni and organization, we try to make your arms open to everybody. You played one, then you're a part of us.
Yeah.
Rob Ray with us on the Western Hotline. How are you on a night like this? Do you like being the center of attention and having the whole night be about you?
No, I'm excited. Yeah, don't get me wrong, and I think it's awesome. But I will be glad the second that it's not over, but the speech side is over. I'm not that person to stand. I can stand in front of people and talk about whatever you want to talk about, but as soon as there's multiple people, it's like, oh, my gosh. So, no, that's been something for quite a while now that I've been worrying about, and it'll be nice that maybe tonight I could actually sleep.
Rob, when we talk about your career, there's a lot of ways to do this, and, before we finish out, we'll get your thoughts on how things are, for the team this year right now and where things stand. But, looking back over the course of your hockey career, all the famous fights we're going to play, the era of the league right now. We were talking about this earlier. I don't think the league will ever go back to that, but there's no denying that the charged atmosphere and the feeling of going to a game, not that was going to happen all the time, but that it could happen and that the bigger brawls could happen. That emotion from the game, do you feel like that is missing these days?
Yeah. I think the playing of the game, you have to play with emotion. It's it's a fast game. It's it's a physical game, and you have to play it with an edge. I think that if you don't play it with a little bit of anger and hate for your opposition while you're out there, then you might not. I don't think you perform quite the same way. Just to go play, it's different. Thing is now, so many guys have crossed paths over the years. They all know each other. The thing is, when you're younger now, you don't play that game. When we came up through junior, it was physical. So you knew how to do it when you get here. Some nights we sit and we're like, hey, this would be a good time that something could happen. But these guys have never played that way. They've never been taught that. They don't. It's out of their game because of the lower levels now that they kind of look down on the fighting side, and you're punished so bad for if you do get in fights that when they get to this point, they might think of the same way and think that it's time to do something, but I don't know if they really know how to do it sometimes. But hey, it's a business, but it's a sporting business, and bottom line, it's an entertainment business. And I think a big part of it over the years, the NHL's kind of lost that a little bit, and because it was unique to our game.
Yeah.
Unique, you go get in a fight, sit your 5 minutes, come back out, and away you go. But a big part of it is entertaining those people while they're in the building. And I remember years that we weren't that good, but we played hard, and you did whatever you could do, and people walked away. Yeah, you might have lost, but they were entertained and they were happy walking away from it. So that's part of the business. I think that it's kind of slipped away a little bit, and now more emphasis on the winning and losing, and scoring and all that kind of thing. That it's great. Don't get me wrong, it's awesome, and that's bottom line is winning, but you still have to remember it's an entertainment business along the way.
We've heard over the years, Rob, a lot of former fighters and enforcers and players that played like that talk about the stress going into games when you'd have a big guy coming, like a big opponent to fight, or you might be going that night. Was that the case for you throughout your career, that you felt stress in those moments before the game?
At the beginning, yeah. When you were younger, you definitely felt the stress because you knew that any certain night there was one or two guys that you may have to face in a game. But I think as you got a little older, got more comfortable doing it, a little more mature, that you kind of learned to put that aside and just concentrate on the game first, and then when it was called upon or needed, that's when you were able to. The whole thing of everybody goes, oh, you can't go into a game and just flip a switch. I get that for some guys, but I think guys that played our role had to learn how to do that pretty quick, that you could be sit there for quite a while and then all of a sudden be called upon to do something, and you went from staring at people in the crowd to hating the guy. All of a sudden you got to go maybe confront. So I think that was something you had to learn along the way to be able to do that and to be successful. But not the stress side. Yeah, there were certain nights you thought about it, but after a while you realize, hey, I don't know if there's anybody really out there that can really hurt you. Yeah. That was my thought anyway. So those are the guys that you maybe thought about it a little more, like when you were playing Joe Kosher, guys like that a punch could really hurt you. Other guys, you're just okay. Let's go. Let's do it. Get it over with and move on. Did you
come to love it? I mean, loving the reaction, loving the building getting going is one thing, but how about the actual getting into it, getting into a Donnybrook? Go ahead and throwing those bombs. Did you love it?
Yeah, you got to love it. At the beginning, you really didn't because you were still learning and you didn't do well all the time. But once you got the hang of it, it was like, yeah, this is great. And especially at home, the reaction, as you said, you got and the way the guys reacted to it, it was pretty cool. You always rushed off to listen to how RJ had put it on, TV or the radio and try to get that. And that was always cool as well. But, and then when you got near the end, it got to the point where it was like, okay, all right, let's do this again. And yeah, that's when I think you kind of realize that it may be over, that you're kind of losing that passion, desire to go do it every night. And it kind of, you start thinking about it a little more instead of just going and reacting and letting the flow go. But there was nothing better. Scoring goals is great. But I tell you what, most nights there was a bigger reaction from people home or on the road when there was a good fight and people showing their appreciation for it.
Did you love it more, maybe less when it was just you and it was like, hey, face off, we're going to go versus, I watched one yesterday just on YouTube of when Barnaby runs Sean Burke and now everybody's fighting. I think you're fighting Trevor Linden maybe. I didn't know this was about to happen. Something happens on the ice and now just everybody's going at it.
Well, it was good when you had like Barney and Brad and myself, and we always had multiple guys that could go do it. So that took a lot of the pressure off to go do it. And then near the end, it started getting you were the only one, and and then Eric Bolton was able to come in and take a little of the pressure off. But when you're sitting here and you're the only guy, and you know that when something happens or if it did happen, that you were the one solely responsible to go out and try to take care of things, that was a little tough at times. But in the most cases, it was so much fun with us. We're dumb. We're like, yeah, let's get going. And then you'd have a night, like you said, Barney go out and do something stupid, and you come back to the bench and be like, okay, I got them all riled up for you. Go take care of it. I'm like, thanks, you little, it's just so. But you just expected it. You knew. There was some nights you'd sit there, and I remember back in the odd when people used to, get to the point in the game where they wanted something to happen, and they'd all start chanting, and the game would be out of hand already, or one way or another, and you're just sitting there going, no, don't do that, because then it puts you in that spot where you got to go do it. So, I just think sometimes when you felt you were pressured into it, it wasn't so much fun. But when just to go do it because it was going to make a difference in the game, but it was awesome.
Rob Ray joining us on the Western Hotline ahead of his induction to the Sabres Hall of Fame tonight, ahead of Sabres and Predators. Robbie, you, of course, you made a name doing that. You also, of course, made a name with all the things you've done off the ice, and King Clancy Trophy along the way. Do you get a jacket for that? Do you get a ring? Do you get a mini trophy? I know that all the trophies are in the Hall of Fame. When you win that, what do you take home?
When you get one of those major trophies from the NHL, you get a miniature of it as well. Whether it's Stanley Cup, whether it's Conference Championship, or any of the individual trophies, you get a replication of it, and they're about a 1.5 feet or so tall. Some of them. So got one from the Conference Championship. Actually, I got one from Ottawa for the President's Trophy. When I went there the first time, they had won that, and the King Clancy.
Okay. Also, the Sports Center commercial.
Yes.
I don't think, did you pull anything from that you did?
Yeah, no, that was, when we switched the jerseys, and I think a lot of that was to promote the new jerseys and everything, and Kenny Martin was a big part of that when he was here. But that was fun to do. You went in the middle of the night and knocked it off, and it was like nobody in the offices, nobody around. You're doing it, and, you're done, and you're gone by the time, people are showing up, you get on the plane. It was like, no hotel, no nothing. You just went in at 9 o'clock at night, shot the commercial all night long, left at 6 a.m, and came home.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Rob Ray on the Western Hotline. Rob, thinking about your work in the community, is that something that you always saw yourself doing, wanted to do, or just kind of saw your place and how you could make a difference?
Well, you know what? I came from a small town of like 1,200 people. And when somebody needed help, everybody was there. I remember weekends that, your family would say, hey, such and such a family needs a barn built, something else. And they went out and did it. And it was just normal for us. I got here, and when I got here, there was like Mike Ramsey and Mike Foligno and these guys. They're highly involved in a lot of things here in town. And, and they got good advice that, get involved, get yourself out there, get in front of the people. Do all these kind of things, and it was great advice. And once you got doing it, it's like you had extra time, and you would have been led astray doing something else probably if you didn't at the time, and you got to love it. And I was accepted here early, and I just felt that they accepted me. I'm going to help you, give back to you, and do what I can for everybody here. So. It was good, and I still enjoy it, still like doing it. My kids and that get involved with it now too, and we go do things, and I think it's important. We're at a position where you can make a difference in a lot of different areas, and I think we have to.
Yeah.
With that being said, and wanting to stay around the community, did you always know you wanted to be a part of the broadcast?
No, never broadcast. You know what? I was finished, and Larry Quinn actually called me like the day before the season was starting, and I wasn't going to play, and asked me if I was interested in doing it. I said, I'll go try it and see, and, worked with Danny Garrett. It was kind of set up in the dressing room, and it was like you walked in, and what do I do? Sit down, put the mic on, and then what? Well, you'll figure it out. So, and I was like, yeah, I'll try this for a little bit, and and then it just kind of turned in from that to the desk. And then when Harry decided to pack it in, RJ came to me and he said, hey, I'm going to keep doing this if you'll do it with me. And I'm like, so what do I say now? Do I say no? And then he packs it in, and then I'm responsible for that. I'd be hated. I said, I'll try it. I go, how long are you going to work? He said, another year or two. So then I got sucked in, and then, it's been 30, I don't even know how, 20 years since I've been doing this.
Will there be anyone, I'm asking this for people that are asking us, will there be any former foes that you fought in attendance tonight to celebrate you?
I hope not, because I don't know if I'd want to have to, go at it again. We joke around about it. I talked to Ty the other day, and I was like, you imagine just going back, one last time and just going at it out there. And it was like, we'll sit here going, yeah, that would be great. And then all of a sudden reality set in and go, it'd only be about 10 or 15 seconds because we'd both be laying there, huffing and puffing and trying to catch our breath. But, yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah.
Is that, if you think about your top fights or favorite fights, I don't even know if you ever go back and watch them, is it against Ty, or is there other ones that would come to mind?
No, you know what, anyone you did well in, not one specific. I know there was one specific that kind of gave me the confidence and that I could actually do this at this level with these guys, was a Dave Brown fight. And I can remember getting into that fight. It was in Philadelphia, and the place, we square off, and the place is not quiet, but you could still hear the coach. And I can remember John Muckler on the bench going, Rayzor, don't do it. And I'm like, too late, man. We're deep into this one now, and did well with it. And afterwards, Dave coming up and saying something to me about the fight, and I'm like, well, maybe I can. And, I think that was kind of the one that gave you the inner confidence that you could do it against the big guys. But for me, I don't know. They're all, I can sit there and watch them, and there was a lot, and pretty much, my kid's 15, 16 now, so it's like they're watching it all the time, and my kids I help coach, or my kids' friends, they know me as, my son's dad and the guy on TV, and then this was something that just kind of happened along the way that you played. And they pull up fights. What about that fight with this guy? What about this fight? And I go, yeah, I did score the odd goal somewhere along the line there too, so you could kind of look at those too. But, no, I could sit there and I could tell you just about what was going to happen in each and every one of them.
Yeah. Was there ever a guy you just knew, like, at any time, like, that they were in the lineup, like, you knew you were going to do well against?
Well, like I said, I never really feared any of them, but you knew when certain guys like Joe Kosher, Tony Twist, these kind of guys that when you fought them, Marty McSorley, that when you got in, you better be ready because they could hurt you at any given time. And, I think that was more than anything, just being prepared for those kind of guys and maybe approaching it a little different. Some guys you grab on and they'd throw, half a dozen punches and tire themselves out, and then you step in and do what you got to do. So no, was it? No. All
right. Well, the good news, Rob, going into tonight is these nights the Sabres have put on, RJ night, Ryan Miller night, they've been great ceremonies, lots of fun, and the team has responded with big wins. So, hopefully the night goes perfectly tonight for you.
Hopefully. It'd be nice. These guys can play so well at times and just look so good and do everything, and I think it's just the frustrations of just being able to do it consistently.
Yeah.
Making sure that each and every night you're doing the same thing. But they've proven and shown they can do it. It's just a matter of, doing it every night. And you see good things, and some nights you see some tough things. But they just got to limit the tough and have more of the, the consistency.
Well, we'll be there tonight to help honor you, celebrate you. Congratulations on everything, and all the best tonight, Rob.
Thank you, guys. thank you. Take care.
Yeah, Rob
Thanks, Rob.
Ray. It's Rob Ray's induction into the Sabres Hall of Fame tonight at Keybank Center. 7 o'clock, 6:05. And they're wearing black and red.
They are wearing black and red.